Welcome to Newson Taylor, as informative as Frost Nixon and twice as much fun. We're here with the Master Clockmaker, and last time we talked about buying with confidence. And nowhere is buying with confidence more appropriate than lantern clocks. What have you got for us today, Mark? There's two on the table and one on the wall.
Yeah, three examples.
When were they made?
Oh, all three actually are late 17th century, made in London.
Right. Do you want to start with the one on the wall? Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
by all means.
It's clearly different from these two, so...
It is different. This is basically how all the lantern clocks started out. 30-hour duration, weight driven and hung on a wall, called a hook and a spike because it's hooked at the top and two spikes keep it away from the wall. Has side doors that open, and if you look in the movement you can see that it has a short pendulum between the trains for the verge escapement. It's simply wound once a day by pulling on the chain or the rope. Invariably they started off with ropes.
And these holes in the side doors?
Because it's a centre pendulum rather than mounted on the back, working well, it tends to pick up quite a good swing. Of course there isn't room between the doors, so they're clearance holes that have been cut to allow the bob on occasion to poke through.
There's a very finite number of these clocks, isn't there?
Absolutely. Clocks that haven't been converted, that are still basically original how they started out, are becoming more and more difficult to get hold of.
So can you tell us what's the two on the table? What the
Yes,
difference is
of
with
course, of course. Two very nice examples. Late 17th century, one of them by John Ebsworth, who was a very noted maker. Good, solid, beautifully constructed cases, but the Victorians converted the movements.
Is this legitimate? Is this legitimate restoration, or is it?
It's not restoration,
Right.
so it is legitimate, and it wasn't carried out to deceive. It was actually carried out quite often on these clocks as an improvement for three reasons. Firstly, it didn't have to hang on a wall, so it could be placed on a table or a sideboard or something, or even a mantel shelf or a windowsill. Secondly, you only had to wind them once a week, and thirdly, of course, they were much more accurate.
Right.
If we open the door, we can see the quality of these Victorian movements. Double chain fusees, still striking on the original bell, beautifully made. The cost of that was quite considerable and would cost the equivalent of what these clocks can be bought for today.
Yeah, they have slightly different faces. I mean, this is a smaller chapter ring.
That's right. This one, by the very good maker, is slightly earlier. And as lantern clocks progressed, the chapter rings tended to get broader.
Right.
You can see the slight difference in proportions as well. Again, this is probably 20 years younger than this one, but even in the 20-year period, the proportions, it's more elegant. We've got the wider chapter ring, it seems more delicate, more decorative here. So they were changing. It was almost like mobile phone technology of the day.
Who's this one by?
That was by Harris of
Right.
London,
Right.
who I think he died in 1708.
So the likelihood is that this is made in the latter part of the 17th century.
That's right.
It's a time when Christopher Wren was a young man, Isaac Newton was a young man. The Civil War was just a few years ago, the Great Plague.
In London
was
too,
yeah,
yes.
there was a fire. Shakespeare was only as distant as the Second World War is to us now.
Yeah.
Purcell was making music, Rembrandt was painting himself. I know what you're
What
thinking.
colour?
I know what you're thinking. He had a lovely line of hats. He did nearly 100 self-portraits.
Did he really?
Yes, it was. Thank you very much, Mark, for your input. Do you know what we'll be talking about next time?
I think next time we've got to go on to bracket clocks, don't you?
Okay, we'll be looking at a selection of Georgian bracket clocks.
Georgian and Victorian, especially perhaps touch on the Regency because it's a very interesting period.
Okay, well thanks very much for your input today. We'll see you next time.
You're welcome. Goodbye from him and a goodbye from me.